In today's video, we are going to ask ChatGPT which baits that we should throw. I'm going to give ChatGPT a prompt telling it kind of the general location that we're fishing, the conditions that we have, the wind, the water clarity, all that good stuff that we as anglers take into consideration when we're out in the water. And we're going to see what it suggests to us and if it's a good suggestion or if we're not going to catch any fish. What we're going to do is we're going to ask it for the top 10 baits to throw for our current conditions, and we're going to try to catch a fish in every single one of those 10 baits and see if we can get 10 out of 10 or if some of those baits are going to be a bust. But without further ado, let's see what ChatGPT thinks about fishing today. We are going to say we are currently on a lake in southwest Michigan. The water temperature is 64 degrees. Bass in the pre-spawn stage, but a few may be spawning. Bright sunny skies. Water clarity is about 3 to 4 feet. Can you please provide us with the best 10 baits using this criteria? Let's see what she has to say about that. Prime window for bass fishing, which I do agree. ChatGPT, you are right there. Pre-spawn fishing, few on beds, warming water, moderate wind, clear skies. Here's a tailored list of the 10 best baits to throw in these exact conditions in southwest Michigan right now. ChatGPT says, number 1, a weightless Senko. I definitely think that we're going to be able to catch a fish on a weightless Senko. It's an absolute staple pretty much any time of year, but this time of year in particular, you can catch a lot of fish on it and some really big ones. Number 2 is a Ned rig, another just a fish getter. You're going to catch a lot of fish on a Ned rig pretty much wherever you go. Number 3 is a Texas rig creature bait. Once again, these are just kind of staples. I don't know how in depth she's really getting. These are all just like, hey, that's like a normal bass bait to throw. But top 3 right there, all I think are going to be pretty easy for us to catch fish on. Number 4 is a swim bait. That's getting a little bit more difficult. Not that it's hard to catch a fish on a swim bait, but I don't really know if these are the exact conditions and time of year that I would be throwing one. Number 5 is a spinner bait. Really excited about that one. I feel like we have the perfect conditions for a spinner bait. That was like the first thing that popped in my brain as we pulled up to the lake right here. Let's focus on fishing those 5 baits first, and then we'll get into the next 5 baits after we hopefully catch a fish in every single one of those. We are going to start with ChatGPT's number 1 suggestion, which is a wacky worm. I've pretty much got it rigged up. If you guys watched my last video, I had that dice video going on. If you haven't checked it out yet, might want to check that out as well. But caught some on that homemade dice. We already got the hook on there. I'm probably going to retie that, make sure we have some fresh line tie for these bass. Once again, too, I forgot to mention this in the beginning. If you guys are not already subscribed, we are dropping all sorts of fishing content on the channel. Hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me, and it will kind of keep you up to date with all these different things that we're doing here on the channel. But let's get this retied, put a Senko on here, and try to get the first bass in the ChatGPT challenge. All of them are not tied up. We have to find a Senko now. I made sure to absolutely stack my boat with tackle. It is not organized at all. As you can see, we've got crap everywhere. But I had no idea what ChatGPT was going to tell us to throw, so I made sure that we had a little bit of everything. So I need to find a Senko somewhere in this entire hodgepodge of a mess here. Here we go. A little lunker log action. This should get the job done for us. So this will be probably one of the easiest ones. Get to start out with a nice, easy bait. Get a fish in the boat, get the confidence up. All we're doing is rigging that right up the middle, wacky style, just like ChatGPT, our little AI assistant, told us to do. We're gonna catch one on this Senko. Okay, first cast, starting on this little point kind of leading into a backwater. I think that we're gonna go this way, especially if we catch one pretty quick on this Senko. The upcoming baits, they kind of lend better to the main lake over here. Right up next to that dock. There's got to be something around some of these docks here. Some of those fish staging, getting ready to spawn. It's one of the last pieces of cover right before the bank there. I bet by this second dock, we got our Senko bass. Either right here or right there. We're gonna catch one. Nobody home there. Well, I thought that this was gonna be the easiest bait by far. No bites on it yet, but we're gonna go move spots. I'm gonna get around an area where I think that there's just gonna be a lot more fish for us. No bueno, ChatGPT. Giving us bum information. Not actually. We should definitely be able to catch one on the Senko. There we go, there we go. First one. That actually took way longer than I would have ever anticipated, but we got number 1 of ChatGPT's suggestions knocked out. Little weightless wacky worm Senko. Not a big bass by any means, but this isn't necessarily known as like a giant bass catcher. So little one to start the day off. We're gonna go to suggestion number 2, which is the infamous Ned rig. The first 2 baits that she gave us are not really big fish catching machines. So I'm not anticipating catching a big one. Not to say that it can't happen. We might catch a 3, 4, 5 pounder, who knows? But I do think that some of the baits later in the lineup are going to give us a better chance at some bigger fish. But we got to try to catch at least 1 bass on all 10. So we do have to get something on this thing, which should not be a problem. Is that first cast? Wow, it is so small. We're going to count it. I didn't put a size requirement. Like I said, I wasn't anticipating catching a big one on this. That was first cast. We just knocked it out. Yeah, ChatGPT, you do know how to catch fish. I mean, we are kind of looking for big ones. We might have to put that in the prompt next time. Hey, how do we catch 10 big bass? But number 2, I gotta look and see what bait number 3 was. I forget off the top. Oh, I think it's a Texas rig. Pretty sure we got a Texas rig creature bait, which that will give us a better chance at catching a big one. This is more of a craw than a creature, I would say, but I definitely got some creature baits in here. This is gonna give us a chance at a better fish, for sure. What to throw? You know what? I know exactly what we're gonna throw. In the back hidden compartment, we've got the Bronco bug, which we did a different video on as well. This thing was definitely catching us some pretty good ones, but kind of a bigger creature bait should give us a chance at catching some of those better fish that we're looking after. So we are rigged up and ready. I'm actually gonna bring us to a different spot before we even start fishing. Alrighty, see if maybe there's a couple females that have already pulled up on beds back in here. This Texas rig should be perfect. Try to get some of those bigger ones to bite. Oh! She got both of my claws. Both of the claws on the creature. We're flipping a nub back in there. Just a nub. No. Well, first bite on that Crush City Bronco bug. And I ripped off both of our claws. That was way back underneath the pontoon boat too. Could have been a decent one. Get a fresh bait on here. We got another pontoon right in front of us too, so if we got a bit of a pattern, we might get bit under here as well. It was stuck on top of like a pad underneath there. Felt funny. Yeah, there's something there. Oh, there's one that just ate it though. There he is. There he is. She came out and freaking clocked it. It's a little better fish. Come on up in here, son. Definitely a better one. Not a giant by any means, but I figured that that little creature bait was gonna get a bigger bite, and it didn't. She freaking clocked it too. Fish number 2 in that ChatGPT challenge. Biggest one so far. Still pretty small, but we got some big hitters coming in. We got the chatterbait I know on there at some point. Spinnerbait might get us a good one out in the main lake too. So a couple opportunities we're gonna have for some bigger fish, but I figured this would get us a slightly better bite, and she did. Little Bronco bug action. Nice fat, like 13-incher. We're gonna get her back in and try to catch some more fish on this little challenge that we're doing, little experiment with ChatGPT. There she goes, back in the water. Bait number 3, I think is a swim bait, which I'm kind of debating. Should I stay back in here for that, or should I go back out to the main lake? I think we'll try in here for a little bit, and then we might go out to the main lake. I think that with the wind and everything, and the other baits that we have coming up, like the spinnerbait and chatterbait and all that, that's gonna be definitely more suited for out there. I'll try the swim bait back in here for a bit, and then we're gonna probably move out there though. Back into the pit of chaos here to try to find something. Chop the old net off, and I think we're just gonna go with some sort of like little finesse swim bait, like a 3-3 Kitech or Spark Shed or something like that, that I know should get bit this time of year. I'm assuming I got one rigged up somewhere. You guys can tell I'm a master of organizing tackle. I do a really good job of it. You should all definitely take your tackle organization tips from me. I do seminars. Okay, we gotta get a freshie. No worries. I think that might be one of the lightest heads I have. We're just gonna go with like a little 1/8 ounce ball head. Try to keep it simple. I'm gonna find like a 3-3 Kitech in here somewhere, or better yet, we'll use a little white Spark Shad. I think that this could be a killer back in here. All right, just shove that all back in there for now and pull this off the bank here so we don't scare everything. The swim bait, you just want to make sure you line it up, get it on there as straight as you possibly can. Oh yeah, that's perfect. There we go. Well, so far, ChatGPT has not let us down. Caught a bass in all 3 baits that we've tried so far. And honestly, the longest one was that wacky worm. It took us about 10-ish minutes maybe to catch that wacky worm fish. And Ned rig was the first cast, and I think that creature bait was maybe like 5 minutes of fishing. We will see how long it takes to catch one now on this swim bait. Such a bite-sized little snack. We should get bit on this thing pretty quick. Like I said, honestly, this is probably a better bait to throw out on the main lake, but I think that we could just catch one quick in this channel before we even go back out there. I just figured that creature bait would get bit in here really quick, and it did. Oh, there we go. Oh, and it's a good one too. Much better fish. On the swim bait of all things. All right, ChatGPT, go off. Go off. Giving us the good advice. That's a solid one, boys and girls. She clapped it. I got it right paralleled up against that shoreline where I figured there might be some spawning fish or some fish just starting to move up, and got ourselves a dandy there on that little megabass, what are these things called? Spark shads. Megabass spark shads, yes. I know what I'm talking about. I know how to fish. We were 4 for 4. I think that was like our 3rd cast with this thing. I took like 1 cast on the other side, shot back over to this bank, and instantly just got clapped by that fish. Bait number 4 of this little ChatGPT challenge. We just got that one on the swim bait. Nice, solid, probably 15-inch bass, give or take. Not a giant by any means, but definitely the best one of the day. We've kind of got bigger with every fish pretty much. So gonna get her back in the water. Bait number 5, I think, is a spinnerbait off the top of my head. We actually might still stay back here. We're getting a little bit better quality. We'll stay back here, try to catch one on that spinnerbait. And if we do have to go out to the main lake, kind of get in that wind, that might be key. But good one, going back in the water on that little megabass swim bait. Spinnerbait coming up next. Everything's fine, puppy. She's protecting her home. I was gonna say, I don't think many people master that one. every house I go past with dogs, they're always barking. It's all good. Yeah, catching quite a few so far. Nothing crazy big or anything, but yeah.
Put the boat in on the launch, parked it on the lift, and then had a mama raccoon and babies in there, right?
Oh my gosh, I had like a little ground squirrel in my boat, one of the first trips I made like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was, I didn't realize till we were out there fishing for a while, and it was running all over the boat and stuff. It wasn't, yeah, the raccoon, that's worse. That's way worse. Yeah, you too. Oh, there we go. There we go. I got one. Oh yeah, there's one on the spinnerbait. That is fish number 5 for our little challenge. Hearing a story about a raccoon, and we just got our next fish. Another solid like 13, 14 incher too, not too bad. We gotta find out what bait number 6 is. I kind of forget what we have next in the lineup here. Second half, we knocked out the first 5 baits. We've got number 6, a jerk bait. It is a suspending jerk bait. That's probably pretty much the only thing that I throw 9 times out of 10. Condition's still pretty good for that. I think that we're gonna be able to get that done. Number 7 is a bladed jig, a chatterbait, another staple for springtime fishing. Number 8 might be a little bit trickier. A topwater walking bait. It can be done. I think that we're gonna be able to catch one on that, but it might be a little bit harder than some of these other baits just because topwaters, it's like they're either eating it or they aren't. I wish it was a topwater frog. We got a lot of really good pad spots over here that I think we could get it done on, but we'll see what we can do. I'm either gonna put a popper or like a spook style bait on. Number 9 is a drop shot. That's just another absolute fish slaying machine. I think that we should be able to catch one pretty easily on that. And then finally wrapping it up with a lipless crankbait, which might be a little bit tricky. We do have this great windy condition. A lot of these fish are in pre-spawn stage. I think that we're gonna be able to get that done though as well. So let's see what we can do on these next 5 baits. So second half of the challenge, wind has died down a little bit actually, but we've got the jerk bait, lure number 6 that we have been suggested to throw. Got a little Megabass Vision 110. Gonna huck this around some of these weed breaks and up on top of some of these flats. Try to get a good one to come up and eat this thing. I'm gonna shoot us over here actually. Still got a little bit of chop in the water. There's a nice little point that comes out. I bet we could catch one in 5 casts or less on this thing right over here. It's too beautiful for a jerkbait. It's begging to have a jerkbait tossed at it. There he is, second cast over here. Come on in here. Fish number 6 on the jerkbait. We got to see what bait number 7 is. Sorry, buddy, we kind of got you in the eyeball just a little bit. We got you. You're okay. You're okay. Not a big one. Another fish for the challenge there. Number 6 on that jerkbait. We got to see what number 7 is. Getting close to the end here. I remember there was one or two that were, oh, we need a topwater. It's not 7, but number 8 is a topwater. That one I'm a little bit worried about. Oh yeah. Number 7 is just a bladed jig. We just need a chatterbait. We could definitely catch one on a chatterbait. All right, bait number 7, rigged up and ready to go. I still think that this spot should be pretty good for this bait as well. Especially if we can find a couple little, wow, okay. I was gonna say if we could find a couple little grass clumps or something to throw it in. Oh my gosh, it's a decent one for the day too, not too bad. Good like 13, 14 incher, a good pound fish on that chatterbait. Literally cranked it I think a half a time. We just knocked out bait number 7. I told you, I felt really good about the spinnerbait chatterbait combo out here. That's like 2 of the staples this time of year. Good fish on the chatterbait. We are gonna find a topwater bait to throw now. And that one might be a little bit more tricky to get a fish in the boat, but good fish on that jackhammer chatterbait. Didn't even get to fish with it hardly. Just fun to cast this thing around too. We didn't even get to experience the joys of that. Let's see what we got in the topwater department in here. Got a rod that's got like, I think it's 30 or 40 pound braid. That should be perfect. I think it might have said like a spook style bait, so we probably should be true to that. Throw this sexy dog. I think a popper might be a little bit better this time of year, but let me see what it said. Let me just refresh myself on what ChatGPT did say. Yeah, it does say topwater walking bait. So we're gonna go with the KVD sexy dog and make sure that we're actually listening to the AI generated computer voice that's telling us what to throw out here. Because so far she's been pretty kind to us. It has not taken more than 10 minutes for a single bait to catch a fish. And that chatterbait took about a half of a crank of my reel handle and we got one. So she's been good to us. We're gonna keep listening. Okay, it is topwater KVD sexy dog time. Oh no! That was a decent one. Is she still behind it? I think she might still be behind it. First good blow up. She's right underneath it. Something's underneath it. It might be a different one. That one looks small. That was like a solid 2-pounder that blew up on this thing. She was right at the end of this little white pipe. Might be on a bed. Come back for it. Oh my gosh. Dude. How is that even possible? 2 ferocious strikes, 0 bass in the boat. Right in between this dock. That was perfect. Super textbook. Oh, straight whiffed. Dude, I've had like 3 or 4 follows. I've had 2 freaking crush this thing. That thing popped it like a foot up into the air. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Come in here, come in here. Get in this boat on the top water. It's a decent one, let's go. Bait number 8. I think that up next is a drop shot too for number 9. We got 2 more to go, but got that one on that sexy dog. Yes, that was a sweet eat too. We've had a couple really sweet blow-ups on this thing. Awesome. Gonna get that fish unhooked, get her back in, and then we're gonna tie a drop shot up and hopefully catch our last 2 bass. Drop shot and then a lipless crankbait, but awesome little topwater blow up. ChatGPT, I was worried. I was a little bit worried about that walking bait. That's probably something I wouldn't have thrown today. And honestly, we've been fishing it for like 5 minutes and had probably some of the best bites of the day on it. So, hey, don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on ChatGPT. Good little fish going back in. There she goes. Onto the drop shot. All right. Flatworm, catch us bass number 9. After that, after we catch a fish on this, which should not be that hard, then all we need to do is catch one on a lipless crankbait, which, once again, it's a little bit late for me to be throwing a lipless. I probably wouldn't be on much of a lipless bite right now, but I do think we'll be able to catch one on it. Got a couple spots in mind too, where maybe we could get a good one even. Oh, I suck. I suck. Does this hook even have a friggin' hook tip on it? Come on, there we go. Can we actually get her in the boat? We've had 4 bites on this drop shot. Every single one has got off. Yes, sir, we can do it. We can catch him. All we've got left is number 10, the lipless crankbait. Another little like pound bass, nothing too crazy. Going back in, and it is on to the lipless, the final bait, standing in between us and this ChatGPT fishing challenge. You could not tell, I really wasn't too excited to throw this drop shot. I just didn't really want to tie one up. Didn't really think it was going to catch a big fish or anything like that. So we're going to move on to a more fun bait, lipless crankbait. Yes, here we go. I think that we're going to go with, feeling like a bluegill color. We're going to go with the little clutch bluegill. That ought to do it for us. A little clutch bluegill lipless. Okay, ChatGPT. We got one more bass to catch. So far, you have been a worthy tool. You've caught fish on everything that you've thrown at us. We just got this lipless crankbait left. Got some beautiful wind pushing right into these lily pads right here too. Just a perfect spot to get cranked on a lipless. Take it out onto this flat here. Big old barren flat with a couple little isolated patches of grass. Gotta be some pre-spawners. Still kind of slithering around out here. Starting to get into a lot better grass around here. I'm seeing some good clumps. Like if we're gonna get bit on this flat, this is where it should happen. Trying to target those little isolated clumps. Just need to trick one. Just gotta get one dumb bass to see this and open wide. There he is. There he is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on. Get in here. Get in here. Get up in here. And it's a decent one. Once again, all the baits I thought I was going to get some better fish on, other than the topwater. We kind of caught some small ones, and then the baits I thought we were going to catch small ones, we caught some halfway decent ones. We fished the 10 baits that ChatGPT said would be the best for this lake at this time, in this condition, and everything we got going on today. And we caught a bass in every single one of them. Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is fish number 10. We fished the 10 baits that ChatGPT said would be best for today on this specific lake at this specific time with all these conditions that we have out here. And we caught a bass in every single one of them. So good little fish, getting her back in the water. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you guys have any other cool video ideas, drop them down in the comments below. If you guys are not already subscribed, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. We're gonna end on a little bass backflip right here. Catch you guys next time.